Story 1, true story about me getting back at my son for being a pain in the ass. My son got a job at Walmart and I took him to work one day and we were early for his shift so he can look for some shirts and pants for work. He finds a few shirts and some jeans and he heads to the changing room. The elderly lady that was working the area greeted us and let my son in one of the rooms. He is in there a few minutes and when he comes out he has a new shirt on and a pair of jeans on, and this was our conversation: son, the pants are too small. Dad, get the next size up then. That should help, son, but I'm a size 30. Dad, every brand is different. Either get a bigger size or try a different brand and see if that helps. So he goes and gets another pair of pants to try and goes back into the room and changes. When he comes out he again says they are too tight. Dad, well, you need to get a size bigger than that one. Evidently, son, but I'm a size 30. I want to wear a 30. Me, being the totally lovable and considerate father, reply, son, you may want a 30, but your ass isn't a 30. My son's only reply was a softly said damn it and turned back to the changing room. At this point the lady working the fitting room has totally lost it and has tears running down her face from laughing so hard. Rum Bun Bun says, I work for a well-known blue jeans manufacturer answering phones for their website's customer support line. Had one woman call in and say, size 14 no longer fits me but I refuse to wear a 16. What do you suggest I do? I couldn't think of a thing to say that wouldn't get me fired. I just said something like I couldn't really advise on size. That was a decision for her to make. Nunof My Business says, I had a tall, very, very skinny kid. I bought his jeans at Walmart. The kid's sizes didn't come in length, so I would pull every pair in his size and preferred fit off the shelf and lay them end to end. Then I would take the pairs that were 4 longer than the rest for him to try on. Only half of those would end up fitting. There was no standardization among the same size. Malibu Cat 48 says, it's like the woman who asked her husband if her pants made her look fat, and he said no, your ass makes you look fat. Story 2, gave a speech at my success in front of my ex Throwaway account BC. He uses Reddit a lot. My ex treated me poorly but not abusive or anything that extreme. He just expected me to absorb the worst and angriest parts of him quietly and didn't really get to know me as a person. Also, he broke up with me on a major holiday right after I'd learned I'd had a miscarriage with him. He ghosted me even after I told him this. Class act, obviously. He also basically told me I didn't deserve to be successful and that I wasn't a real person. He tried to make me feel uncomfortable in a space where I arrived first and he came in a year later. Openly mocked me with friends in the club when I won an award for my hard work. Just stupid behavior. Well, joke was on him BC. I became an overnight success story in our field. Now jobs are lining up asking me to be a part of their projects and he's still trying to get people to like him BC. He's so obtuse it's painful to talk to him sometimes. I even was offered the chance to come back as an alumni of the club to come and speak specifically at my success with photo evidence of the big names I was working with. I arrived in a hot professor outfit and he came late looking like a rejected loser frat boy, which was the total opposite of how he used to dress. He looked surprised to see me sitting with the club's top brass as he always wanted to be friends with them, and I actually did it. He sat in the last row and had to watch me describe the hard work I put into my success and how it bred even more wins for me because of how I move in the industry. His face when I revealed who I worked with was priceless. The room gave out a collective gasp as well at the info, and he was bright red and fuming in the back of the room. He loved the work this person had done and had wanted to work with them one day. And I had beat him to the punch by a fucking marathon, not just a mile. Best part was I got to explain networking and made it extremely clear that people who do fuck around in and out of work around co-workers will absolutely find out the hard way when they don't get jobs. It applied to him and a few others from the club who I didn't make eye contact with, but my crew who was in the meeting knew exactly why I didn't want him on BC. He wouldn't been extremely unprofessional with me as his boss. I wouldn't have minded working together, but he has no class or decorum and it would have ruined the project for everyone. When the meeting semi-ended, I stayed with my friends at the front of the room talking and laughing, and I could see him in the corner of my eye talking around the edge of the space, not sure if he would be accepted. His biggest fear is that people won't like him, and God, watching me being surrounded and shown so much love and appreciation right in front of him? I just know it sent him into a tailspin BC. He walked out in an absolute huff. Even the people who took his side of the breakup and aided in making fun of me with him at our special event where I was awarded are now sidling up to me and were choosing to treat me as more important than in BC of my work. Success in a life well lived really is the best petty revenge I'll ever need. Edit for clarity: my ex did the making fun of me at a work event after we had broken up. He rallied people to his side to make fun of my award after we were over. He called me a bad person who didn't deserve anything when we broke up. Truly, I was not being abused as hard as you all lovely people think I was or was not. He was an asshole completely, but we're in our early 20s so please don't be too harsh on either of us. He had never been in a relationship before me, and I should have broken up with him as soon as he started acting out and taking his stress out on me. Also my hot professor outfit was corduroy pants, a collared button-up which was partially unbuttoned to a nice undershirt with layered necklaces, some pretty rings, and sensible heels. If you'd like to make fun of something about me, get your mind out of the gutter before doing it. I'm not the one. To anyone who says this is fake, girl, if you don't take a walk around the neighborhood and get some fresh air. I work in film media with artists, so yeah, they're vocal and outspoken, and reaching up as high as I did with my new colleagues OFC, they gasped. I would have said some shit too if it hadn't been me who lived it myself. We're all in film for a reason. We love having a flair for the dramatics at many points in our lives. Additional edit. Thank you truly to everyone who commented and were genuinely curious to know if I was okay and to point out he was being abusive to me. The relationship was very short-lived, so I wasn't slowly suffering a great pain. Very hard-hitting sucker punches? Absolutely. And my family is actually more supportive of me than I always feel worthy of. My dad is the epitome as a true girl dad and has shown by example in how he treats my mother, sister, and everyone he knows as how a male partner should behave. My very first relationship ever, not this one, was filled with outside trauma that happened to us that made our connection toxic and very abusive. It's made finding partners that are good and solid people hard, but I'm always working on it in myself to try and heal those wounds so I don't spread it to others. Thank you all again for your kindness. Sufficient. Nobody 72 says, not abusive or anything, proceeds to mention many instances of emotional abuse. Cape Warrior says, he saw how talented you were and knew he was out of your league. So instead of trying to make himself better or supporting your success, he was a lazy bastard and tried to sabotage you by dragging you down. Pure jealousy. Honest_wealth 657 says, it's not often we get to witness karma in all her beauty and glory, but when we do, it's nothing short of spectacular. I'm proud of you, Op. You didn't take the fuckboy's words to heart, you took them to bed and made them your bitch. Thanks for watching. I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.